even really know how to describe what's happening here. It is.
I'm trying to think in 14 years when I've seen you this shook over a guest, this nervous. You don't know what to do with yourself.
It's staring me in the face. The Stanley Cup is right in front of me. It is sitting here. If you're watching on the stream at seattlesports.com.
It's glorious.
It is unfreaking believable. It is right in front of me. I'm not touching it, but it is within, 2 arms length. And it is so unbelievably cool. Howie Barrow is here with it. He's one of the keepers of the cup. How many keepers of the cup are there? A couple, right?
There's 4 of us that will do the majority of the travel, and then we have a 5th person who is a teacher full-time, and he will help us out throughout the summer. But he was a full-time cup keeper back in the day.
And you're from Parry Sound.
Well, I'm from Toronto, but
Okay.
I went to school in Parry Sound. My father's from there, and that's the hometown of Bobby Orr.
Oh, I'm well aware.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I grew up in Boston. My dad is
Okay.
a devout, well, both my parents really, but my dad's sort of unable to talk about hockey without just raving about Bobby Orr.
Right.
And so, the fact that I saw that in the bio, I was like, oh, geez, here we go. All right, so let's talk about the cup. It is here in the building. If you're watching on seattlesports.com, you can see it. It is glorious. What is it, about 4 feet?
36 inches.
Okay,
so
3 feet. It looks bigger than it is then. Because
It does.
It feels more majestic than that. You can see all the names carved into it. And when did the names start?
Well, the original bowl presented in 1893 didn't have anything on it originally, but in 1907, the Montreal Wanderers put their roster on the inside of the bowl, and that started the tradition. So they went back and added teams to show the history of the previous winners, and then they continued on to this day. So the first team, well, like with the NHL, 1917, they would be on the larger bands around the barrel.
Okay.
But there's 3 bands now that are retired to the Hockey Hall of Fame, and they're in there right now. So
Okay.
the oldest team on the bands now is the 1965-66 Montreal Canadiens.
Okay, but then, so when you finish the bottom band, will one band come off and it'll stay the same height, or does it get bigger?
Yes, exactly. So every 13 years, the bottom band is completed. They will remove the top band, and it's retired to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Everything will shift up one, and a brand new one is put on the bottom.
Wow. And she started, is there a pronoun, he, she? What do we do? What's common here?
I guess I've heard it all, but I mean, it was donated by Frederick Arthur Stanley, and they got the nickname Stanley. He was the Governor General of Canada. I would assume it goes by a he, but this day and age, it could be anyone.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, when did it become Lord Stanley's Cup?
Well, he was a lord technically. He was, I guess, I don't know if he was knighted. I guess he probably was by Queen Victoria.
Wow.
And so he was sent over to Canada to take over everything here and be in charge. And he was the Governor General, so he oversaw everything that was happening at that time.
Howie, how much do you enjoy opening that case? Is it travels the country and all of the different participants in the winners obviously get it for a day, and every player. How much do you enjoy what you just got to experience about 5 minutes ago when you opened up that case and Kyle and Taylor and Maura and Justin and everyone in that room? I think one of them said it's as if it's a newborn. How much do you enjoy just reading and seeing the faces of people as you open that case and they get to see that trophy?
Yeah, I love it. It's it never seems to. I don't know. I mean, it's really hard to put into words sometimes. When you think everywhere you go, you think you've been to so many places now, everybody's seen it. But no, you go somewhere else, and there's always new people. People come out of the woodwork to see it, and to see their happy, smiling faces, it's incredible. I'm very fortunate to have a job where people are happy everywhere I go, and they're so excited to see it, get photos, touch it, kiss it. Share their stories too. It's really amazing.
So some of the traditions around it, the players won't touch it until they win it. Is that right?
Correct. From what I know of, yes. Players are very superstitious. While they're still in the league trying to win it, they will not touch it.
That's why Salk won't touch it. Okay,
I'm not trying to win it myself, but I just feel like I would, degrade it in some way if I were to touch it.
There are players still, even to this day, after retiring and everything, they still won't go near it. It's just something that they work so hard for. If they hadn't won it, they're just it's just not the same for them.
Where are some places you travel with it, right? Because it goes to all the different players and executives. Everybody who wins the cup gets their time with it.
Yes.
What is the prettiest view you have seen? Where has it been brought that had the most beautiful view?
For me personally, I think going to Switzerland was pretty amazing. But Europe in general, the city of Prague is beautiful, and Vienna. But my other coworkers, they've taken it around the world too, and they've gone to China, been on the Great Wall of China with it. It's been to Russia, it's been to supporting the troops in Afghanistan.
Incredible.
It's been all over the world, and even when we're back home in North America, U.S., Canada. It's amazing. The big cities, of course, we always see, but it's the small little towns that you don't even know about, and they're special for those players, and there's always something.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, have you taken it up to some, way up north Canadian town, population 7 people, and like, what is the reaction when the Stanley Cup shows up in such a small town? It's
amazing. For some people, it's very emotional. Like you said, maybe in Western Canada somewhere, somebody remembers watching games on TV with their dad or their grandfather, never ever having a chance to even think they'll see the cup, and then all of a sudden it's there, and it's quite emotional for them.
Some won't touch it, and then Eli Manning will drink beers out of it. How does that work?
Well, Eli was with a former player, Brad Richards. He's got his name on the cup, so he's more than welcome to pick it up and lift it and drink from it anytime he wants for the rest of his life. And Eli was very fortunate to be with Brad at that time, so Brad shared that with him.
What's the most worry? We're talking to Howie Borrow, who's one of the keepers of the cup here, which is right here in the building. It's right in front of me. It's 3 feet from me. It's unbelievable, Brock. It is so majestic. Just seeing it here. What is the most worried you've ever been about it? Like, what is the most danger it's ever been in?
Well, 2011, I was with the first player of the summer that year, and the cup didn't show up on the flight. So never having experienced that before, that scared me a little bit there. All it did was really miss the flight. Unfortunately, the player had a parade to go to, so he didn't have the cup for his parade, so I had to wait at the airport until the next flight came in.
Which team is that?
I was with the Bruins.
Okay.
So I'm not sure exactly what happened. But
who got it first for that team?
That summer, it's just the way the schedule was set up, but it was Nathan Horton.
Okay.
Had it that year. So, but I mean, the rest of his day was fine, but you can't replace the fact that the cup wasn't there for the parade, unfortunately.
Are you telling me that cup will fly commercial?
It does. Almost like 99% of the time. Yes.
I know.
But it's the only way we can do it. So
I'm sorry. Everyone's going to have to excuse me for a moment. How long have you been doing this? Since when?
My first cup summer was 2010.
Okay.
And I've been at the Hall of Fame since 2004.
Wow. Just the history of this thing, Brock, and just all. I wasn't sure if you went back. I was going to ask about when Ray Bourque finally got the cup, because that was a meaningful moment to me in my life. But I think that was before 2010. So,
yes, Ray won it in
2000, 2001, something like that.
2001, Colorado
2001.
Avalanche. Yes.
Yeah. All right.
If the Seahawks are a little bummed about traveling 31,000 miles next year to play games, how many miles on average does the cup travel in a year?
I've been told about every 6 to 7 years, the Stanley Cup travels about 1 million miles.
Wow. It's just remarkable. Why is it here? I mean, obviously, Kraken are trying to get there and trying to turn this thing into a reality. Game 7 in Dallas tonight. You're not yet at a point where Brock, I don't know that you know this, but one of the great moments in hockey is when you get to an elimination game in the finals.
Yes, I know.
Someone will say the cup is in the building, and it completely is like a magical, like you can feel the chill come over the entire arena. It's like, oh my God, the cup is in the building. Oh my gosh.
Right.
So what is it doing here in Seattle?
Well, the NHL right now is on a media tour promoting the playoffs. Okay. So they go to the different cities that are in the playoffs right now trying to win the Stanley Cup. So we're doing, appearances and visiting media outlets like we are today. Just trying to get around to get everybody excited about, their team potentially winning it. And, it's just something that's just, I don't know. It's hard to put in words because it's amazing how much it does travel. So we try to let as many people see it as possible.
Howie, we can't thank you enough, and everyone you're involved with. This is what an unbelievable experience. My last question for you is this one, kind of an off the wall. The wildest thing you've seen eaten or drank out of that, what was originally a punch bowl, right, in the 1850s, turned now into an immaculate trophy.
Yes. We've seen everything from chicken wings to pierogies to ice cream and cereal, but I think for me, Alexander Ovechkin put $15,000 worth of caviar in the bowl. So that was pretty unique. But the players are always trying to find something different that's never done before.
Cool.
I don't even really know what else to say. I'm
You've
sorry.
you've
We're
made
gonna
my
have to go to
partner's day
break.
today, Howie. Thank you.
This
Thank you so
is
much.
truly one of the coolest experiences of my career. This is unbelievable to be able to sit this close to this trophy. It is.
And know the people that have touched it, right? Know the history. Know, as you said, all of those
just in front of me
icons.
right now are the 83. These are some of the teams I can see. 83, 84 Edmonton
readers on.
Oilers. So that's Gretzky's the captain. That's who else? Grant Fuhrer won it with that team. I got the 69-70 Bruins, right? That's, another team that's been incredibly meaningful to my family, my parents especially. Who else? I got like a lot of Oilers. I got some of those great Islanders teams with Trottier and Bossy. I got the 96-97 Red Wing. I mean, my gosh, man. What an unbelievably cool thing this is. And while the other trophies in sports are great, they have a lot to be proud of, and they're very meaningful to those players.
Nothing like this.
They don't look like this, man.
Nope.
This is 100% the greatest prize, the greatest trophy in all of sports. And Howie, you get to hang out with this thing all the time. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Made my day. We'll be right back. We'll give you things you actually need to know if I can, get myself together. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.